I'm a parent who reviews cars, and I am not the only one at Edmunds, which means that we have put our kids' car seats into hundreds of cars. So let me save you some pain. Today, I'm going to show you everything that we've learned about what makes a car good, bad, or ruin your day awful for kids' car seats. We're Edmunds. We test hundreds of cars each year on the road and at our private track, so you get the most trusted reviews. If you want to know which car, truck, or SUV is the best, stick with us. Let's talk car seats. Now, there are a lot of options out there, but this is pretty representative of my own car seat journey, and I know a lot of parents with basically the same story. I started off with an infant seat just like this one. Now, there are a ton of different styles, but I had one with a detachable base. Now, I always used the latch anchors to secure mine to my car. Even though these are kind of bulky, I like them. Once you've got this base installed in your car, it can just stay there. You can take your kid in and out of the seat, get all these fiddly buckles done outside of the car, and just put the whole thing in. Just in case you're wondering, latch stands for lower anchors and tethers for children. So you'll attach these to lower anchors in between the seat cushions and one of these to a tether anchor, usually on the back of the seat. Eventually, your kid is going to get too tall or too heavy for the infant seat. Make sure to read your seat's manual so that you know what its limits are. Once my kid was big enough, I moved up to a convertible seat. Now, these start off rear facing, and I used the latch anchors to secure mine. Honestly, this was my least favorite seat in this configuration. It's the hardest to get your kid into and out of when it's installed. For my kid, it was the most likely to make him car sick, and it's so bulky. It takes up so much space, you almost always have to move a seat forward. Then you're gonna hit another height or weight milestone, check your manual, and this becomes a forward-facing seat. My kid was way happier with this. It was easier to get him in and out. He had more to look at, and most importantly, he stopped getting car sick as often. It's really common to use the latch anchor and the top tether to secure this type of seat into your car. You will have to switch to using the car's seatbelt to secure your car seat, because those lower anchors are only rated for a maximum of 65 pounds, and that's the combined weight of your kid and the seat. Your seat's instruction manual will give you the exact weight when you need to make the switch. The next milestone is the booster seat, where your kid is secured using the car's seatbelt directly. Now, this convertible can act as a booster seat. Once my kid was tall enough, I switched over to one of these, a high back booster, and it was wonderful. I get in and out of a ton of cars, and this is so much lighter and so much easier to live with. Look, I'm not here to tell you which car seat to buy. There are a million resources out there testing and reviewing car seats. I am also not here to tell you exactly how to install your car seat. You can get your car seat installation checked by a professional. Try one by your local fire station. They should be able to do that for you. I am here to tell you what makes a car good or bad for car seats. So let's go check out some cars. So after getting in and out of hundreds of cars, what am I looking for? Let's use this small SUV to show you. I start as soon as I open the door. I want this to open as close to 90 degrees as possible, so it's out of my way when I'm messing with my kid's seat. This car is okay, not great. The next thing I'm checking is the door opening square. Is the roof high? So I'm probably not gonna bang my head on it when I'm getting my kid in. And a nice low floor is great for when your kids are older and they want to climb in on their own. I'll also check how much access the door gives me in a tight parking lot. Is it too long? Is it shaped funny? Or is it going to give me enough space to get my kid in? To check how much space there is for car seats in the back, I'll actually start up here, adjusting the front seat to where I have just enough room to be comfortable. And then I'll see how those seats fit. If there's not enough room for one of these big rear-facing seats to fit comfortably, I'll check the car's manual to see if it'll fit in the center position. It gives you a little more room. I checked for this car, and unfortunately it seems like you'd have to use this seat belt to secure it, which I don't love. Next, I'll check to see how the car seat actually sits. Is it easy to get a nice secure connection? Does the base sit flat on the cushion? Is the back being pushed away from the seat? Anything like that. I'll also always check the headrest, if it's interfering with the seat, and whether it's removable. Ooh, yeah. I love to see a removable headrest. It just makes this installation a lot easier. The lower anchors are obviously really important. There's a lot of requirements for spacing and labeling and access, but what I'm really looking for is how easy is it to get this connector locked in and tightened down. It's getting more and more common to see a setup like this where you've got a plastic surround. There's a lot of space to access this anchor. It's very simple. There's still some cars where it's just sort of wedged in between the seat cushions and it takes a little more work to get the latch in there. When you're looking at a car, just remember, if you're the kind of person who only takes your seat out and puts it back in maybe a couple times a year at most, having a latch anchor that's a little harder to reach might not be a deal breaker, so long as you can still get a secure fit. I also always check the buckle. Is it gonna be easy to get to and easy to click? These are always nice to see. Air vents that you can aim and adjust will help keep your kiddo a little bit more comfortable. Also look around to see if there's any extra little cup holders or pockets that kids can use to keep stuff. I also always check how much distance it is to reach back in case I need to hand my kid something, a snack or a wipe or whatever. In a much larger vehicle, you might have to undo your seatbelt in order to reach. What's up, buddy? You need a snack? You need a handkerchief? Are you shopping for a new car for your family? Head to Edmunds.com where we'll help you find the best price. Let's take a look at a 3-row SUV next. We'll start off with what we know. This door doesn't quite give you that 90-degree opening, but it's still a nice, big, square, really high roof that's gonna be easy to get to, and a relatively high floor that's not gonna be great for very little kids, but it's not the worst for something this size. Doors on 3-row SUVs do tend to be longer than those smaller 2-row SUVs, which can be a problem in tight parking spaces, but I checked this one out and I was actually impressed. You still get pretty good access. Now, once you get inside, obviously there is a ton of space for even the biggest rear-facing car seat in here. The latch anchors, they're not as nice to access as in that last SUV, but they're pretty close to the surface, so it's not gonna be the worst. I don't love this though. This is so floppy. It's just gonna fall in there sometimes when you're trying to click the buckle in. Good job on the removable headrest here. Thank you, Toyota. Let me show you something I don't like though, which is behind the seat here. This anchor is just behind this cut in the fabric. That's gonna make it a little more annoying to access. Now, a few bonus points for this interior. There are some pockets right here that a kid can reach, and you have this air vent in the ceiling, which is great. Super bonus points for that. Means you can get air to a kid who's in a rear-facing car seat. One thing you need to know about 3-row SUVs is that access to the 3rd row is almost always a pain in the when you've got a car seat installed. And normally, seat back folds forward, push the seat away, and you climb in, right? What happens when you have a car seat installed? If you've got a car seat installed, either with the latch anchors or with the seat belt, nothing doing. You're not gonna get into the back seat. Your 3rd row passengers are either gonna have to climb in through the other side or go around the front and through the center. It's actually one of the reasons I think if you don't desperately need 3 seats across the middle, captain's chairs are kind of more useful. Leaves you a center aisle to walk through. What about car seats in the 3rd row? Well, obviously there's not a ton of room back there for anything bulky, but more than that, this car in particular only has 1 set of lower anchors and 2 sets of tether anchors in the 3rd row. Something for you to look for on a test drive if you need to put car seats back there. Really, I think that's best reserved for kids who are old enough to be in booster seats and can climb back on their own, so you don't have to climb in to get them buckled up. If you do need to put car seats in your 3rd row, you might need to move up to an even bigger vehicle. Also, for those older kids, think about vents and cup holders. This car is great. We got cup holders on both sides and ceiling vents on both sides. So we've looked at SUVs. Maybe you want something smaller. Nothing wrong with using a sedan for car seats. We brought my kid home from the hospital in a sedan just like this one. I mean, there's plenty of room for car seats in the back seat, especially in something like an Accord or a Camry. The issue is this really low roof. Means when you're trying to get your kid in, you're gonna do a couple of things. You're either gonna wind up fumbling around blind to try and get your kid buckled in, or you're gonna stick your whole torso in here to reach them, and trying to reach these is just a real pain. Other than that though, the interior of a sedan has a lot of the same amenities you get in the other vehicles, right? You got some cup holders here, you have air vents that you can aim up here, and you got a little pocket in the door that your kid can reach. It's not so bad. The worst part, the absolute worst part of a sedan though, is getting the tether anchor attached. because you have this low sloping roofline, you gotta reach back here, but there's not a lot of room to work to get your tether attached, which is just a pain in the butt. And the other problem with the sloping glass like this, certain times a day, you're gonna get more sunlight coming in that can hit the face of a kid in a rear-facing car seat. You don't really have the same problem in an SUV where the big square roof keeps them in the shade. Sedans actually have a secret strength for parents that not a lot of people think about, and it's the trunk. Everybody thinks SUVs when they talk about cargo space, but a lot of SUVs have tall cargo spaces, not wide and deep cargo spaces like a sedan like this, especially a big one like this. You can lay your stroller down in here, you can throw your diaper bags down, and it's all in one layer. It's all pretty easy to access. It's a great strength. What about the ultimate in cargo space? Pickup trucks are hugely popular, especially a truck like this. There are a ton of different styles, but this 4-door crew cab full-size beast with a giant back seat is the most popular of all. Downside is, it's actually kind of a pain in the for car seats. First off, it's wide as a house and the doors are huge. Good luck in the Trader Joe's parking lot. On the plus side, this is one of the first doors we've seen that hits that 90-degree open that I like to see so much. Also, this roof is so high, I couldn't bang my head on it if I tried. But the seat is also really high up in such a tall truck. That means you're gonna get more of an arm workout trying to get your kid in. And this step up is really high. Personally, I never liked trucks with these because I just bang my shins on them. But for my son, he can't climb up here without one. This back seat is huge. You can camp back here. There's room for any kind of car seat that you want. Now, in some trucks, you'll see that the seat cushion and the seat back can be kind of flat, very vertical, and that makes it a little harder to get that nice, secure fit you want. This truck, it's a little more shaped, so it's nicer. I also like that there's an extra lower anchor point, so you could actually install a seat here, closer to the center if you wanted. The problem with trucks is the tethers. If you thought sedans were bad, oh man, you gotta mess with these straps back here and then route it around, and it's just such a pain. Ugh. I've seen some trucks, they've started putting actual upper tether anchors behind the rear seat. You're gonna fold it forward and get the anchor back there. Honestly, that's as much of a pain in the butt as dealing with these straps, and I just don't like it. I've been talking to you about how I review car seats, but we review the whole car too. If you're trying to figure out which car, truck, or SUV is the best for you, head to Edmunds.com. You can check out our full ratings and rankings. Another thing you need to think about is you've got 1,000,000 miles of space back there, but that means you're not gonna be able to reach your kid without undoing your seatbelt. Also, you've got this big flat floor. If anything falls down here, it can roll anywhere, and you're just not gonna be able to reach it without getting out of your seat. Look, my son loves trucks, but between the hassle of having to lift him way up high to get him into this seat, all the trouble I have getting the seat to actually fit securely, especially with those tethers, and not being able to reach him to hand him stuff, up until he was in a booster seat and old enough to take care of some stuff for himself, he may have loved trucks, I didn't. You had to know this was coming. Minivans are the absolute best case scenario when it comes to dealing with kids' car seats. Let me show you just how good life can get. I mean, sliding doors, come on. And you can park wherever you want. You don't have to worry about your door dinging the car next to you. This opening is huge and square. The rear wheel is far enough back that you get this giant step, but it's low enough that kids are gonna be able to climb in on their own. It's easy to lift in almost any size seat or a child. I mean, this interior is really built to accommodate kids. The only knock I have against it in this particular minivan is the air vents. They're down low in the door frame, which means they're not gonna blow that well into a rear-facing seat. This feature is a game changer. This car actually has the seatbelt mounted right on the seat, which means that if you've got your car seat installed with the seatbelt, you can still slide the seat forward and backwards. It's amazing. Think about it. If you're in a 3-row SUV that has the seatbelt attached by the wall, if you've got a car seat installed this way and you try to slide the seat, you're just gonna mess up your installation. This is great. Here's a feature not many cars have. You can tilt this whole seat forward even with the car seat installed to get access to the third row. I mean, off the top of my head, this Odyssey, the Volkswagen Atlas, there just aren't that many cars where you can do this. A unique feature in this Odyssey, these seats slide towards the center and you can still slide them forward, which means it is really easy to reach even a little kid in here, and gives you a whole other way to get back to the third row. Some minivans have a camera system like this where you can watch what's going on in the back seat. That's pretty handy. Some Hondas also have these mirrors here. I really like that. It's part of why I bought a CR-V when I had a kid. The only real gripe I have is since minivans have these big flat floors, if your kids drop something, it can roll way the heck away. You're gonna have to park and get out of the car to get it back. But I mean, if that's the biggest problem here, minivans are great. Not enough people buy these things. I don't get out from behind my laptop much these days, so if you enjoyed this video, throw me a like, let me know. Also, if you appreciate the work that we at Edmunds do, make sure to subscribe. It really lets us know that you want to see more. I've shared my car seat journey with you, so how do you put it to use? Well, now you know what to look for when you go out to test drive a car. And remember, when you're test driving, bring your car seat with you. And you're gonna have that car for a while, so if your kid's in an infant seat right now, maybe see if one of your friends has a big rear-facing seat you can borrow to check how it fits. If you've already got your car and you're buying a new car seat, just make sure you test it out before that return window closes. And most importantly, be honest with yourself about your life. When you're choosing a car, you're gonna have to balance what you want with what you need and conveniences with frustrations that you're willing to put up with. Thanks for watching.